Elon Musk just pulled off the unthinkable. He bought Harley-Davidson. The loudest symbol of rebellion now belongs to the world's most precise disruptor. This isn't business. It's a cultural shockwave, and if you think this stops with bikes, you're already behind. Watch this to the end. What happens next will blow your mind. The death rattle of an icon. Harley-Davidson wasn't just struggling, it was fading into irrelevance. Over the last 15 years, domestic sales plummeted by over 40%. Its average buyer crept well into their 50s. Younger generations, the ones Harley desperately needed, weren't interested. To them, the sound of freedom was more likely to be an electric scooter humming through the city than a chrome-heavy cruiser thundering down a desert highway. Harley's bold pivot to electric, the Livewire, landed in dealerships like a wet spark. Too expensive, too heavy, too late, and worse, it lacked the very soul that Harley riders expected. The same brand that once embodied rebellion had become a museum piece, polished but frozen in time. While the world charged into an age of connectivity, artificial intelligence, and sustainable tech, Harley remained parked in a fantasy of the past. It kept selling freedom the same way it had in the 1990s, leather, noise, and nostalgia. The problem? A new generation didn't want noise. They wanted smart. They wanted clean. They wanted control. And Harley didn't have it. Behind the red, white, and blue paint jobs was a boardroom running out of ideas and dealerships overflowing with unsold inventory. The company slashed jobs. It withdrew from international markets. Even its heritage lineup, once a guaranteed hit, was losing ground to sleeker, more efficient competitors. Internally, Harley was in panic mode. Externally, it was vanishing. Then something nobody expected happened. Not a buyout from another motorcycle brand, not a tech partnership or bailout. Instead, a man known for building rockets and reinventing transportation quietly began watching. And when the moment was right, he didn't just knock on the gates of Milwaukee, he kicked them wide open. But Elon Musk didn't come to tweak a failing brand. He came to resurrect it, and that story starts with something much deeper than profit. Think Elon Musk is the one to save Harley-Davidson, or is he just taking it too far? Like the video if you think the future of Harley is about innovation, and subscribe for more wild updates on how Tesla's transforming the motorcycle world. Why Musk chose Milwaukee? Elon Musk isn't known for sentiment. He is a builder of systems, of disruption, of industries that shake the earth when they move. But with Harley-Davidson, it was different. This wasn't just about market share or manufacturing capability. It wasn't even about money. Musk could have launched a Tesla motorcycle from scratch and sold it directly through his ecosystem. Instead, he chose to buy a wounded American icon, a name etched into the American psyche. So why did he do it? Because Musk sees Harley for what it once was, and what it could be again. He grew up admiring the myth of the American road, where open highways and self-determination defined a kind of freedom no other country could manufacture. Harley wasn't just a motorcycle. It was a moving symbol of independence, rebellion, and raw identity. And Musk, ever the mythmaker, wasn't about to let that symbol fade into irrelevance. He believes legacies aren't meant to be buried. They're meant to be rewritten. In Harley, Musk saw the last great story of American industrialism hanging by a thread. He saw the grit and iron of a company that once ruled the roads but had been overtaken by its own shadow. This wasn't a financial rescue, it was cultural CPR. He didn't just want to preserve the Harley name, he wanted to evolve it, to fuse it with the very forces reshaping the world: artificial intelligence, electric mobility, and connected ecosystems. For Musk, this was personal. It was his chance to bridge the rawness of American muscle with the refinement of modern intelligence. But buying the myth was just the first step. Musk's real work began when he started rebuilding the machine itself, from the inside out. If Harley's evolving, your gear should too. We've linked riding gloves, jackets, and tools real bikers count on. Check the description below. Tesla Tech in a leather jacket. The first thing Elon Musk did after taking control of Harley-Davidson wasn't redesign the bikes, it was redesign the experience of the ride. To him, the traditional Harley wasn't broken, it was just incomplete. So he didn't throw out the Fat Boy, the Road King, or the Softail. He upgraded them. Every analog dial was replaced with a clean Tesla-style dashboard. Every engine management system got smart sensors and artificial intelligence tuning. The bikes began learning how you ride, adjusting throttle response, cornering behavior, and even suspension stiffness in real time. This wasn't just about convenience, it was about evolution. Harley riders weren't losing their machines, they were gaining co-pilots. Musk's engineers introduced over-the-air software updates, allowing owners to wake up to new features without visiting a dealer. Safety features, performance tweaks, navigation enhancements, they could all be pushed wirelessly, the way Tesla owners had grown accustomed to. Riders could track performance, receive real-time alerts, and even optimize fuel efficiency on the fly. And yet, through all of this, Musk was careful not to erase what made Harley iconic. The design language stayed true. The signature silhouette, the low-slung frame, the heavy stance, all of it remained. But under the skin, it was a different beast. Gone were the days of static machinery. The new Harley was alive. Musk didn't just inject technology, he respected the ritual. He modernized the myth without mocking it. Still, upgrading legacy models was only half the vision. To truly reinvent Harley, Elon needed to return to the one place it had failed the most, the electric frontier. The electric line Musk needed. The Livewire was supposed to be Harley's future, but it arrived as a disappointment, priced too high, too heavy for city riders, and too slow to adopt the tech that younger buyers demanded. In the end, it sold more headlines than units. But Musk doesn't see failure the way others do. To him, the Livewire was a prototype, a sketch of something better. And now he's drawing the final blueprint. The new electric Harley lineup won't be a single flagship model, it will be a fleet. Think performance cafe racers that go from 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. Urban mini cruisers built for cities like Jakarta, Nairobi, and Sao Paulo. Long-range electric tourers with solar-powered auxiliary systems. All designed to be fast, light, and intelligent, and all built around Tesla's battery architecture. These won't just match the range of their competitors, they'll exceed it. And with integrated software, riders will control every aspect of the ride from their phone, helmet, or voice. But the most important shift isn't power or pricing, it's positioning. These new electric Harleys aren't trying to look like the old Harleys. They're breaking free of the old image entirely. The design language is sleek, futuristic, aerodynamic. Gone are the oversized fenders and chromed-out exhausts. In their place, low-profile LED lights, minimalist bodywork, and charging ports where fuel tanks used to sit. And in true Musk fashion, he's not just building bikes, he's building an electric identity. But while the frame gets lighter, the tech inside gets a whole lot heavier. From Starlink to solar, the new Tesla-Harley Stack. Elon Musk isn't just outfitting Harley with batteries, he's embedding it into a planetary technology lattice. Every new electric Harley, no matter the size, now rides within a Tesla-controlled ecosystem. At the heart of this integration is Starlink. These bikes are no longer just machines, they are mobile, connected data nodes. From the slums of Lagos to the foothills of Nepal, riders will have real-time navigation, weather forecasting, and security alerts delivered directly via satellite. That's just the beginning. Each EV Harley now ships with Tesla energy-compatible charging solutions. That includes solar charging bundles that can be installed at home or on the road, allowing riders to power up in off-grid conditions. In regions with unreliable electricity, this isn't just a convenience, it's liberation. A solar-charged Harley becomes the ultimate freedom machine, immune from rising fuel costs or unstable grids. Musk understands the value of vertical integration, so these bikes also talk directly to Tesla's cloud-based service architecture. That means diagnostics, firmware updates, battery management, and system alerts are all handled remotely. No dealer visit required. This level of seamlessness isn't just modern, it's magical, especially in developing markets where service infrastructure is spotty or non-existent. Even more disruptive is the bundling. Musk isn't just selling a motorcycle, he's packaging it with a home solar kit, a personal Starlink receiver, and access to Tesla's service network. One purchase, One platform, full integration. The product becomes a lifestyle. Harley has stopped being a vehicle brand. It's now a mobility system plugged into the global Musk machine. But if the bikes are evolving when you're parked, what happens when you're riding? The smartest bike on Earth, while you ride. Elon Musk didn't just make Harley electric, he made it conscious. Riding a Tesla-powered Harley now feels less like taming a machine and more like syncing with a responsive, intelligent co-pilot. Every motion you make, every lean, every acceleration is monitored, interpreted, and enhanced by real-time data. Let's start with the helmet. Riders are now outfitted with integrated AR visors that project navigation, hazard warnings, and speed overlays directly into the field of vision. You're no longer glancing down to check a dial, you're seeing it in front of you perfectly aligned with the road. The visor syncs with the bike's internal telemetry system, which monitors G-force, lean angle, tire grip, and throttle behavior, adapting instantly to your riding style. The bike's onboard AI collects data from multiple gyroscopes and accelerometers to predict loss of control, then counteracts it. That means the bike can pre-brake into tight turns, stabilize mid-swerve, or automatically adjust suspension stiffness depending on terrain. It's as if the motorcycle senses fear and responds with precision. Even anti-theft systems have gotten smarter. Riders receive instant alerts if their parked Harley is tilted, nudged, or moved. Geofencing zones can lock the engine if the bike leaves a certain radius. In some regions, local authorities are auto-notified before you even have time to call. But perhaps the most subtle and powerful change is how the bike learns. It recognizes your habits, the way you corner, your typical speed ranges, even the way you grip the handlebars. Over time, it adapts. Less jarring inputs, smoother reactions, smarter performance. It's not just riding, it's co-evolving. And yet this isn't the end of innovation, because in one secret Musk lab, something even more insane is brewing. Harley X, crowdsourced sci-fi machines. It started as a whisper, a Tesla-backed Harley skunkworks tucked behind biometric doors, staffed with SpaceX engineers and ex-Apple designers. Its name? Harley X. And its mission is to imagine the motorcycle not as we know it, but as we've never dared to. These aren't bikes you've seen in magazines. They're hover hogs using fan lift technology borrowed from early SpaceX prototypes. Lunar rovers with terrain-adaptive tires meant for deep craters. Shape-shifting bodywork that morphs based on aerodynamics and rider input. This isn't science fiction, it's science reality. On two wheels. But here's the twist. These models are crowd-voted. Elon is opening design polls globally, letting riders choose the concepts that move from sketchpad to production. Want a hydrogen-powered bobber wrapped in scale-like solar panels? Vote it up. Want a bike that folds like origami and fits in a closet? Make it trend. The crowd becomes the engineer. This democratization of design is signature Musk. He doesn't believe in departments, he believes in networks. Harley X is the most radical extension of that philosophy. A distributed lab driven by community feedback, building the wildest machines ever dreamt. But now that Harley is global, smart, connected, and crowd-built, the question isn't, can it survive? It's, can anyone else keep up? Dealerships. Die so riders can win. For over 100 years, Harley-Davidson relied on an outdated dealership model, bloated, inefficient, and deeply resistant to change. It wasn't just the markup that hurt customers. It was the entire experience. Pressure sales, confusing financing, limited stock, and a post-purchase support system that barely kept up with modern standards. Riders didn't feel empowered. They felt trapped in paperwork, waiting rooms, and hidden fees disguised as tradition. Elon Musk saw that system for what it was, a gatekeeper standing between riders and the open road. And just like that, he torched it. Musk didn't simply cut out dealerships, he dismantled their logic. Harley's new model is fully direct to consumer. No more haggling, no more middlemen, no more multi-week delays to get the bike you already chose. Riders now order their machines directly from the manufacturer with the same frictionless ease they've come to expect when buying a phone or laptop. Financing happens in-platform. Delivery is tracked to your driveway, and every part of the experience, from selection to service, is handled in one seamless digital ecosystem. For the first time in its history, Harley-Davidson puts the rider first. It's not just about cutting cost, it's about cutting control. Musk believes freedom should be the foundation of ownership, not a luxury feature. With dealerships out of the way, Harley's rebirth becomes a platform of access, efficiency, and respect for the rider's time. And this revolution in buying isn't just economic, it's emotional. But if you think cutting out the dealership was bold, wait until you see what Musk did to the showroom itself. Virtual showrooms, instant deliveries. The showroom floor used to be a sensory playground, shiny paint jobs under overhead lights, the faint scent of oil, a chorus of sales pitches drifting through the air. But for younger buyers raised in a world of e-commerce, that showroom charm wore off fast. The new generation of riders doesn't want to wander through 30,000 square feet of chrome and tile. They want to test ride from their couch, customize from their phone, and skip the paperwork altogether. Elon Musk didn't just understand that, he weaponized it. Instead of rebuilding the traditional dealership experience, Musk replaced it with a hybrid retail tech model. Harley's new showrooms are compact pop-up studios in malls, tech districts, and city centers, spaces no larger than a Starbucks but fully loaded with immersive tools. Riders can strap into a virtual reality headset and test ride their future bike across simulated highways, canyons, or city streets. Augmented reality stations allow them to view color changes, body kits, seat styles, and even noise profiles, right down to the sound of digital exhaust on AI-tuned cruisers. The experience is interactive, fast, and completely personalized. When the dream bike is ready, the next step isn't a trip to the lot, it's a notification. Within days, the Harley shows up at your doorstep, already set up, already synced to your preferences, and ready to ride. The entire interaction feels more like a tech launch than a motorcycle purchase. And yet, the revolution didn't stop with how Harleys are bought. He had one more frontier to cross, one that no legacy motorcycle brand had ever dared to touch: the complete elimination of emissions. Zero emissions, total redemption. For decades, Harley-Davidson was synonymous with noise, smoke, and roaring rebellion. The rumble of a V-twin engine wasn't just a mechanical sound, it was cultural thunder. But in an age of climate disruption and environmental urgency, that thunder turned into baggage. Harley became the symbol of an era clinging to gasoline while the world surged forward. Elon Musk didn't just silence that criticism, he transformed it into a statement. Under Musk's command, Harley is on track to become the first zero-emissions legacy motorcycle brand in the world. Every new electric Harley is assembled in solar-powered factories. The batteries are fully recyclable and come with a documented second life pathway, typically stored as home energy solutions for off-grid power. Every sale includes carbon offset credits tied directly to the manufacturing process, making the entire life cycle of the bike traceable, transparent, and eco-positive. But what makes this shift truly revolutionary isn't just the carbon math, it's the cultural flip. Musk took the loudest, dirtiest, most fossil-fueled icon in American motorcycling and turned it into a clean tech statement that Gen Z, boomers, and millennials can finally agree on. Owning a Harley no longer means contributing to pollution. It means participating in the solution. It's still rebellion, but now with purpose. And while legacy riders adjust to this quiet revolution, the rest of the industry is beginning to panic. Because if Elon could turn Harley into the greenest, smartest motorcycle brand on Earth, what does that mean for everyone else? Culture war on two wheels. The moment Elon Musk took over Harley-Davidson, the cultural divide flared into something much bigger than motorcycle preferences. Baby boomers saw it as a betrayal, a final nail in the coffin of the rumbling, grease-stained, freedom-fueled machines they grew up on. These were the riders who wore denim vests and patched leathers, who believed that a Harley's growl was the heartbeat of America. And now, that sound was being replaced by near silence and algorithmic torque curves. Gen Z and millennials, on the other hand, cheered. This generation grew up surrounded by screens, smart tech, and climate anxiety. The idea of a bike that was clean, fast, software upgradable, and connected to everything from their phones to their helmets was not just acceptable, it was magnetic. For them, Musk's version of Harley wasn't heresy. It was resurrection. They didn't want the old thunder. They wanted a new kind of power, quiet, smart, and personalized. Meanwhile, hardcore bikers scoffed. Forums exploded. The loudest critics claimed Harley had sold out, that its chrome bones had been swapped for circuit boards. But even as the old guard shouted into their group chats and parking lot meetups, something strange was happening. Curiosity. They started test riding these new machines. They whispered about AI-assisted cornering and instant torque. Some even admitted, grudgingly, that they liked the way the smart suspension smoothed out their bad backs, because Harley didn't lose its soul. It uploaded it. But the cultural split was only the beginning. What happened next pushed the transformation straight into the heart of politics and money. Wall Street and Washington react. No one on Capitol Hill expected this. Not the energy committees, not the transportation boards, and certainly not the trade unions. Elon Musk's sudden takeover of Harley-Davidson sent shockwaves through both Washington and Wall Street. It wasn't just the acquisition that raised eyebrows, it was what followed. Closed factories reopened as solar-powered smart hubs. Traditional dealerships were bypassed, and long-standing union agreements were suddenly in question. Within weeks, congressional hearings were scheduled. Lawmakers demanded answers. Was this a threat to American labor? Was Harley still an American company if most of its electric production came from gigafactories in Vietnam and India? Could legacy brands be privatized and rebooted by tech moguls without regulatory review? These weren't just questions of policy, they were questions of identity. On Wall Street, the response was even sharper. Harley's stock surged to levels it hadn't seen in 2 decades. Investors who once saw the brand as a fossil now saw it as a rocket ship. But traditional automakers and motorcycle manufacturers began to panic. If Musk could turn Harley into a high-tech platform overnight, what legacy brand was safe? Rumors swirled that investors were pressuring Yamaha and BMW to pivot faster, to respond with their own Musk-proof strategies. At the same time, labor unions erupted. Harley's manufacturing base had long been a cornerstone of blue-collar pride, but now automation was replacing assembly lines. Smart diagnostics reduced service calls. And while Tesla offered retraining packages and relocation bonuses, many union leaders saw the writing on the wall. This wasn't just innovation, it was displacement. Still, Musk's team insisted this was growth, not erosion. They claimed more jobs were being created than destroyed, just in different locations, with different tools. Meanwhile, analysts watched the ripple effects across industries. Musk had turned an aging motorcycle company into a high-tech insurgent force. Harley became a symbol again, but this time it wasn't about freedom. It was about power. And power, when shifted suddenly, always transforms the people holding it. The new consumer landscape. Harley riders used to walk into dealerships, shake hands, negotiate over coffee-stained desks, and wait weeks for their bikes to be prepped. Now, the entire process took place on a screen. In under 15 minutes, you could choose your bike, select features, customize colors and ergonomics, and finalize your financing, all from your sofa. Within 5 days, a smart hauler dropped the bike off at your door, pre-charged, fully tested, and linked to your mobile dashboard. Insurance models flipped. Traditional plans gave way to dynamic coverage that adjusted rates based on riding behavior. Ride safely, pay less, take risks, get flagged. Maintenance became a software service. Your bike alerted Tesla-certified technicians before you even noticed an issue. No more waiting in service bays. No more surprise breakdowns. The machine took care of itself. Even roadside assistance changed. Forget phone calls. If your Harley sensed an issue, it could signal drones or mobile tech vans in minutes. In some cases, it resolved the problem remotely through AI-driven recalibration. The entire ownership experience evolved, from burden to benefit. You didn't manage your bike, it managed itself. But for many longtime Harley fans, something was missing. The ritual of tuning the engine, the scent of oil, the frustration of figuring it out yourself. For them, part of Harley's appeal had always been its rough edges. The stubbornness, the fact that owning a Harley wasn't easy, it was a commitment. That commitment was now gone. In its place, pure convenience. And yet sales were up. Younger riders were coming in by the thousands. People who never considered motorcycles now saw Harley as a logical upgrade from their car. It was clean, efficient, smarter than a scooter, and cheaper than a Tesla. Elon didn't just redesign the bike, he redesigned the buyer. Is this the end of an era for Harley or a new beginning? Like, if you believe Musk is onto something huge, and subscribe to stay updated on how this legendary brand is being reshaped before our eyes. Legacy secured or rewritten. When the news first broke that Elon Musk had acquired Harley-Davidson, most people assumed it was a stunt, a marketing move, a vanity project. They were wrong. What he built wasn't a tribute to the past, it was a rebirth of the brand through the most radical lens imaginable. One where freedom is not defined by noise, but by adaptability. Gone are the days when Harley was seen as a relic of America's past. Now it's positioned as a symbol of what's next. With zero-emission engines, real-time AI tuning, and neural-linked riding experiences, Harley is no longer competing with Indian or Ducati. It's competing with silence, software, and space. But legacy is tricky. For over 100 years, Harley meant rebellion. It meant long roads, loud engines, and leather jackets that smelled like gasoline and sweat. Can that history be preserved in a world of downloadable torque maps and hoverbike prototypes? Musk believes yes, but not in the way people expect. He didn't want to restore Harley's legacy. He wanted to remix it, to fuse the outlaw ethos with the power of intelligent design, to create a machine that doesn't just challenge the road, it changes with it. That's not nostalgia, that's iteration. And in Musk's world, iteration is religion. Of course, not everyone will follow. Some will ride until the last gas-powered engine dies, others will follow Musk to the ends of the grid. But one thing is certain, Harley is no longer in decline. It's in mutation. And if Elon's right, the future of freedom has two wheels and a Neuralink port. From the roar of engines to the hum of tech, Harley is now reinvented. Like, subscribe, and comment below. Do you think Musk's vision is the future, or will the past always echo louder? Don't miss out on the next chapter.